Hello, everybody. It's Friday. And guess what that means? It's time for the Ham Radio Outlet Check Chat. I'm your host, KB3VWM. Welcome to my shack. So, welcome one and all who are watching near, far, wide, near, wherever you may be, all around the world. We're so happy to have you join me live today. If you're watching after the fact, thanks so much for choosing to do so. We appreciate your support no matter when it happens. Well, today is Friday, July 3rd. We're on the cusp of a holiday weekend. And for those of you that are thinking about it, don't forget our stores are open today and ready to take your calls and orders and get those out to you. But we will be closed tomorrow, July 4th. Everybody's going to be taking a day off and having a little bit of relaxation time. But of course, as always, the web store is open, so you can always do some shopping online there. Well, we've got our first folks are popping in to say hello. Hi, Paul. And Gary's here from on YouTube's watching. Hi, Gary. Nice to have you join us today. So, well, field day has come and gone. How did everybody do? It was quite an interesting weekend. I know from our field day location, we had some difficulty being heard and hearing. I know I heard Will Jourdain, he was operating under his dad's call sign AB4BJ. You guys know Will. He works for ICOM. Boy, he runs a really good pileup. I tell you, I just enjoyed sitting there listening to him until when I kept calling him and calling him and calling him, and he just didn't hear me. I finally gave up, but I was like, darn it, I hear you, Will. I even tried yelling like, Wyoming. That didn't even work. So there was a few challenges we noticed, but it was great to hear the band so full. I enjoyed camping out in my new tent. That was kind of fun. And we had operators that came up from Utah. And so there was about 7 of us that worked out on the radios and hung out. We cooked, we ate, we talked. And it was a nice weekend overall. And I know that, it certainly was a lot different for many folks this year, but hopefully we all learned some good tips and tricks for operating differently. And either way, hopefully had fun, whether you were at home or with your friends. So we got lots of folks popping in here already. Hi, Alan, down in my home state of Connecticut. And there's Todd. Hey, Todd. I think Todd just had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Todd. And here's some DX. I think Joe. That's Joe from Portugal. And let's see, we've got Gary's here. Yo, Gary. Hi there. Oh, Kathy's here. Yay for YLs joining in. And here we go. Michael's here. Hi, Michael, up in Massachusetts. Here's Joel. Hi there. And he says, he's working the 13 Colonies mobile. That's right. It's 13 Colonies time. So if you like to follow special events and collect some really nice, art for your walls, then get on the air for the 13 Colonies special event station. And let's see, there's Tom up and he's in Iowa, and our friend Renaud over in Norway. Hello there. Wow, what a great crowd today. Well, I don't want to make you guys wait any much longer, but one more thing before I bring on my guest today. Don't forget, now that July 2020 is here, that means if you've been thinking about upgrading to extra, there is the new question pool out. So the books are out with from the ARL, and I think our Gordon West books are out as well. So if you know someone or you yourself are interested in getting that upgrade and didn't do it before the new deadline, then now's the time. Get online, grab that book, and start studying, and go ahead and update your license so that the world is your oyster when you're operating. I know that was my big push when I was upgrading from general. I was general for quite a long time, and I even earned my DXCC while I was a general. So it wasn't like I was really missing out. However, I found a lot of times there'd be a really good DXpedition on, and my husband would be down here in the shack and say, hey, so-and-so's on the air. Oh, wait, they're out of your band. And the peer pressure finally got to me. I'm like, that's it. I need to get my extra because I'm missing out on some stuff. And it wasn't that he was being mean. He was just, help push me along. But one thing I did discover, I tried studying on my own. I didn't do as good. So he and a friend put together a class, and a group of us from our local clubs got together. And that's when I finally passed my extra. Boy, am I glad I did, because I've been able to catch some tasty DX since then. Oh, Manila. Wow. We're really getting some DX in here today. And there's Alfredo is watching HI8K. He's a regular. And James. Hi, James. He's another regular. And Steve. Oh, and there is my buddy, Kevin. Hi, Kevin, up there in Northern California. Okay. Well, this week, all this past month, we were talking about field day prep and all the kinds of different things. Well, now I thought, let's take a different route. And I wanted to talk to my friends from LDG. And you guys know who LDG Electronics are, but here's what I'm going to let you do. I'm going to bring in, hold on a second. Dun, 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 dun. There he is. All right. There is our friend Mark, KB3VWM of LDG Electronics. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Katie. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Happy Independence Day for sure. Well, we sure do appreciate you guys agreeing to participate in the show. And, I know Dwayne Kincaid, of course, is a big supporter of a lot of different programs out on the air and was very happy when I said, hey, would you like to come on the show? He says, yeah, Mark would love to.
I know that's the way he is. It's pretty cool. And we don't get out of the COVID cave these days much, so this is great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we start off, just in case there are some newer hams out there that maybe are not familiar with who LDG Electronics are. Can you give us the quick scoop of who is LDG?
Sure. We're a mom and pop organization. Dwayne and Jen started this back in the 90s. They started with kits. And we've now moved into, I think we've got about 20 SKUs, mostly antenna tuners, some balance, stuff like that. Been a great company to work for.
And how long, and you've been there for quite a while now, right? On and off, you said?
Yeah, I started back in 2008, and then I left for a few years to pursue a lifelong dream of becoming a hairdresser. And then Dwayne called me back, which was really cool.
Hey, you could have been a hairdresser. I've seen your wife. She has beautiful hair. You could have been doing that.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's got all the hair and all the looks. So
right. Hey, 1 out of 2 in the couple isn't bad, right?
That's it.
So what is your role at LDG?
I do the tech support. I man the phones. If you call any of the numbers that you see, you always talk to me. And I like a good puzzle, so I learn a lot every phone call. Everybody's station and situation is different, so right. I learn much. And I love a good puzzle, so bring it on.
Well, yeah, and that's very true with tech support. It really is a puzzle because it's not just that, someone turned it on, it's not working. There's so many different aspects. And I know you guys have, for example, you've got your support page. Let me just pull that up real quick on your website. So if someone wanted to at least start with, generally people will go here and visit, and there's your knowledge base, which has a lot of good questions that have answers like, do I have to read the manual?
Yeah, hands don't.
Nobody reads the manual. That's just silliness. But
push buttons until something breaks. That's the manual.
Well, yeah, we like to, because we don't want to give in to the fact that we had to ask for some extra help. But you know what? Nobody was born with this knowledge, so inevitably we all got to look for some help. But I love some of the questions though, because I would think these are based on what you guys get for questions that come in, like how far over the RF power limit can I really operate? What antenna should I use? How do I return my product if I need to? How do I get a firmware source? It's just amazing. For me, I think an antenna tuner, how can there possibly be that much stuff to go along with it? But when I'm, looking at what you guys provide for even just some basic knowledge before they call you, it's amazing what really goes into an antenna tuner.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and there's all different types of antenna tuners. All of ours are switched L, and for certain applications that's perfect, and for certain pocketbooks that's perfect. Other times you're going to need a roller inductor or something different. Which is a really great thing about Dwayne and LDG is if I think that another company's product will fit better, I have free rein to recommend that, which is really unique and much appreciated, you know.
Oh, I bet. Well, certainly, you know, it doesn't do you any good to recommend a product to somebody that's not going to work.
Right.
I mean,
right.
what's the point in that? That doesn't help you any, and that certainly doesn't help your customer.
Yeah, we'd rather have them happy with the right tuner for them, even if it's not one of our products.
Right. Here's Mike. He said he's been a user since 1996.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Was it the MP?
That's super cool.
That is cool.
So I thought it'd be kind of fun to dive in a little bit to, you know, the different antenna tuners you have. Oh, and Dan here just popped in too. He says he has the AT100 Pro. And it works very well. So, you know, and actually I was going to grab that one here. What I was wondering is, you know, what if somebody is thinking that they're going to need an antenna tuner, what is the first thing that is it because a radio, say the radio that they have doesn't come with a built-in antenna tuner, or maybe it does, but you provide some extra capabilities? Really, what's the benefit of having an antenna tuner?
Right. Well, basically, I'm included in this, but us hams, we like to spend big money on radios, transceivers, amplifiers, tuners, and then we'll throw a piece of cable up in a tree and go, I'm not making any contacts. Well, yeah, it's like that. And plus you got the HOAs nowadays. I don't know why they hate us hams so much, but they seem to. So we all have to operate these compromised antennas. So the antenna tuner basically takes the heat for the mismatch, and through some magic that happens inside of the box, it keeps the transceiver fat and happy, so it doesn't take any of the heat. And most of the transceivers come with a little, a lot of them come with a little trimmer tuner, and it gives about 3-to-1 SWR.
Right.
But ours is 10-to-1. So if your antenna is within 10-to-1, our tuners will find a match for you.
Wow, that's super cool. Now, one thing I was noticing is, you know, there's not just one tuner there's not one tuner to rule the world. You've got quite a few. So, like, for example, I just pulled up the YT100. Now, that looks like it's for certain Yaesu products.
Yep, so, a couple of Yaesu transceivers.
Right, and then you've got. So go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's they're directly interfaced with those models.
Okay, and then you kind of got you've got the IT100, which is for your ICOM radios. So some of the numbering is a little bit similar, but you've got different, I guess, some built different guts in there that manage to interact with those transceivers. I know probably guts isn't the right word, but yeah.
Well, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. The IT100 is good for any of the ICOM tuners that were H3 or H4 compatible. So with that'll directly interface, and that'll allow you to use the tune button on the tuner or the transceiver.
Ah, okay. So then something like the AT Pro 2. Now this one seems to be like is this one of your most popular ones? You know, 100 watts and bypass indicators.
I like the AT series. There are generic tuners, so they'll work standalone just using the coax jumpers, or for a number of for like Yaesu and certain Yaesu models and ICOM models, we have optional cables that'll directly interface. But yeah, that's great. 100 watts single sideband, 30 watts digital. That's a nice little tuner.
Right. And then again, so there's all the different interface cables that you would need. So I think that's one thing that's always handy on our site is, you know, you can find that and then you just scroll down to the accessories. So because you know, we can't just buy the one thing, you got to get the accessories too.
Right. And the other cool thing is there's a manual attached at the bottom that nobody's going to read.
Right.
I think that's in the first page is like real hams don't read manuals. It's right there, but it's right under
I think
doc.
we have a sticker like that around here somewhere. Yeah, I can't remember. It's somewhere in the shack here, but yeah. Oh, look at this. We've got Wasilla, Alaska's here. Hi, Arthur. That's pretty. Arthur Peterson. I wonder if he's a fan of Arthur, are you a fan of A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Oh, there you go. 42, baby.
Yeah. We geeks know exactly what we're talking about when we run it, make little comments like that. I love it. Now, one thing I've also realized as you're looking through the different tuners, they're not just at 100 watts. You can work with more power. What's the scoop with that? How does more power?
Tuner. I love the AT200 Pro 2. Probably my favorite of the bunch. It just gives you, it still has the small steps for solving multiple band issues, and you can get the 200 watts power, 100 watts digital out of that. I think of it being about 30 watts, but we're hams and we push the envelope constantly. So 100 watts digital.
Very cool. Well, and that's, nowadays, I mean, digital there's just so many things going on with digital and, thinking about, field day, we were finally able to make some contacts using FT8 and, going the digital route, as well as CW, but we just, we weren't having any luck with SSB. So we went the digital route and, a lot of, with the sunspot cycle being the way it's been, a lot of people are on digital nowadays. So knowing that, manages it is pretty helpful.
Yeah.
And then,
I really like that one.
And then this looks to be the big mama all the way up to 1,000 watts. So this would be something I could use with an amplifier, right?
Correct. Yep. That's what that one's made for. That's the highest power tuner that we currently do.
Nice.
Same functionality as the AT100 Pro 2, just gives you that extra power.
Great.
Yeah. So
my friend Jerry says he's got the AT, the IT, and the KT tuners.
Oh, awesome, man! That little KT was a good tuner. We discontinued that a bit ago, but that's a great tuner.
Yeah, so that's neat. So obviously, with the company having been around for a long time, you as we're seeing here, and folks that are popping up in the chat, you've got some longtime customers, and so I think that's one thing that's really telling when you have folks that are talking about the fact that they've had some of these products that maybe you don't carry anymore, or are waiting for some new items to come out, or just super happy, and they know that when they call for any help, if they run into an issue, that you're the man that's going to be answering the phone, or even Dwayne sometimes, you're going to get the owner answering the phone and helping you out.
That's it. Dwayne usually does the email, a lot of the email tech support, and and I'm usually the guy on the phones. But if I need him, he's right there. So
right,
he's the first one that's a really smart people when I don't know the answer. So
so what's been going on? Obviously, COVID-19 has affected, so many businesses in so many ways. And, here at HRO, our stores, for the safety of our employees and their families and our customers, we are still keeping our doors closed to walk-in traffic. Obviously, our staff is still there. They're masked up even in the store, taking orders over the phone and internet processing that way. But not everybody has that ability. Well, how have you guys been handling this? Did you have to shut down at all for a period of time?
Yes, we did shut down between Dwayne and myself. I had all of the incoming calls rolled over to my cell, and Dwayne manned the emails. We kept customer service going. Jen jumped in and did some order fulfillment, but it was it's been tough. Right now, we're still not up to full capacity. We're working a staggered schedule. Makes it a little challenging. Like if somebody just needs a part or something, it makes it a little challenging, but we're doing our best. It also put us behind a little bit on some product development.
I was going to ask you, you've been talking for that, it's been a bit since you've had something new and you were working on it, but then COVID hit and that kind of threw everything off schedule.
Yeah, it ended up we got everything on the whiteboard. We're just still a couple months out.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. Well, that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
And you never know. I think, do you tend to when you're thinking about a new product or a change, is it based on, things that you've heard from your customers, or just
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big part of it. As customers call and there's a need, we'll kind of do a little bit of research, see if there's another product or another company out there that's filling that. And if they're not, we'll take a look at, like, is it possible?
Right.
He's always developing new things, got incredible mind. I don't know where he comes up with. I think he dreams electronics. I think he
Probably. Well,
but,
is Dwayne an engineer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that explains it. My husband's an engineer and he dreams up stuff all the time too. So, and here's Dave NT9E says he has the IT100 for 7100, and Dave just had a birthday. Dave had a birthday yesterday too. So happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday, bro.
It's always fun when you know everybody on Facebook, so you keep up with birth. I tell you, if it weren't for Facebook and birthdays, I'd never remember when anybody had one.
Lifesaver.
It is, absolutely. And there's a lot of folks here watching on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks everybody for joining us. And I'm here with Mark Magistrelli, KB3VWM from, I want to make sure I didn't get it backwards, from LDG Electronics. And forgot to ask, what part of the country are you guys located?
We're up in beautiful Maryland, in southern Maryland. So.
Okay. And you guys have what do you have? You work out of a building where you guys have headquarters somewhere? What are you?
Our headquarters is Dwayne's house. My headquarters is Dwayne's basement. And then we have a little outbuilding where the other folks do the final assemblies and all that stuff, and to do order fulfillment and stuff.
Oh, that's great. So you really are a true mom and pop business.
Absolutely.
So no wonder you haven't been able to, do your normal work from your office in the basement, since it's at Dwayne's home, and in order to keep safe from each other and staggering things. So how many so are you actually building the product? You guys will build the products and then ship them out from Maryland, but with everything kind of out of whack, that's why things have been delayed. And we certainly are seeing that from all manufacturers. It's certainly not just the mom and pops. The big guys are, having delayed shipments as well. And, we all, of course, want our stuff as quick as we can. But right now, everything's a little bit out of whack, especially with shipping and what have you.
Sure. Well, you guys at HRO are dealing with all of us. So you're on the front lines. You're on the front lines.
Absolutely.
Did you guys see a spike in interest when COVID hit?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We've still been, all of our stores are still running at full staff and working hard, and, can't keep up some days just because there's so much interest, and hearing from a lot of folks who maybe have had an interest with ham radio prior to all of this, but now it's like, okay, I think I really want to get into it. And with the advent or the growth of the remote ham radio test sessions, that's been giving people a new opportunity as well to get their license. Because, for example, at our Milwaukee store, every fourth Saturday, the local club is hosting a test session there. Well, since COVID started, no test sessions because the store is not open. But last month they hosted one. It was closed off from the store. And because there's a separate door to our classroom, and they did reservation only. They spaced everyone out. They had to bring your own mask, your own pen and pencil, and what have you. So they were really excited to be able to actually do that for the first time in a long time. But, of course, I said, was anybody, clamoring at the door to try to sneak in? And because it's like, I can see in there.
That's it. Something's going on. There's ham radio,
I know. I see the radios in there. I want to play.
Oh, that's awesome that, testing that. I'm really surprised at how that's, there's a way around it, and they're finding a way around to get people licensed and upgraded. And that's what hams do. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Absolutely. And it's nice too, because it doesn't matter what class ham license you have. People are finding a way to get on the radio and have some fun, or experimenting. Sometimes some people are hams and almost never get on the air because they're doing other things. They like to tinker. I mean, I've got, behind me is the workbench, and Dwayne's always building one thing or the other, trying to play with something. And, and that's one of the things I think is so fun about ham radio is just, there's just an endless capacity to find something to do.
Absolutely. There's there's so many aspects of it too, which is just mind-boggling. It's incredible. So how do you balance it? Because you got a whole family that's hams.
Yep.
Plus you ham radio. I know by the time my day is gone, I felt like I've contacted most of the world, and I'm ready to play some music or do something else. But you seem to be kind of plugged in. You and Dwayne, and your mom's a ham too, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, there's definitely some days too that I'm like, all right, I'm done with ham radio for the day, and I'm going to go in my craft room and paint or go out in my garden. And, that's one thing I have some other hobbies, but
Right.
The other thing too is that, you have, just like every other hobby, you have to choose to make the time to do it. And for me, it's like, 13 Colonies is kind of fun to get on and you hear everybody around, or, coming up in July is a big DX contest. I'll probably get on the air for that.
Awesome.
And I've been playing around with the Zoom hotspot, getting on with my handheld and talking to people. Now that's something that's entirely new to me, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. And that I can do that anywhere in the house or outside. And so I've just, I'm always trying to find something else that I can enjoy with it, because for me, because I do get the opportunity to interact with so many people from all over with all kinds of interests, it's always fun when I try something new, because people will share their experience. Or like, I know Mark Fraser is watching right now. Hi, Mark. 9 Zulu 4 Yankee. He's down in Trinidad, Tobago. And I was on my radio yesterday, and he called. I put out a call and he answered my call, and we had just the nicest chat. And I looked and I couldn't believe it. We weren't already friends on Facebook. So I immediately sent him a friend request, and and he's like, he says, I just bought the, I can't remember what it was, but he was like due for something to arrive from HRO today.
Wow.
I just thought, that's kind of fun. And he's, it's just, you get to meet new people that way. And so I guess for me, that's why I like to get on the air even after a long day or on the weekend when I can. And again, it's about balancing the time. Sometimes it's like, do I really need to do the dishes, or am I going to go downstairs and get on the radio? And
I always end up managing to pack away at least a couple of HTs whenever we go someplace. So.
Right. Oh, yeah. And we're heading out here shortly, going to go see our grandkids for the first time in like 4 months. So I'm going to take the Zoom spot with me and my HT, and use the Wi-Fi off of my phone as a mobile hotspot, and try making some contact for driving across South Dakota. And I've never done that before, so I think that's going to be kind of fun to play with. We've got a radio in the car, but this is a little bit different, being able to try to get somewhere. Oh, here, Mark just says he's got the ID 4100.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Mark.
Too fun. Oh, and there we go. And here's Gary. He's down in Arizona, and he says he's a longtime LDG user. So,
thanks so much, Gary. Appreciate you.
Yeah, he used to work over at HRO down there. So super. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys, we just kind of brushed around talking about the LDG auto tuners, and I'm going to put some links into the videos. So if you guys are, want to follow up for a little bit more on any particular antenna tuner, the link will be there. I'll also provide the link to the support page on LDG Electronics. So if you need to give Mark a call or, an email off to Dwayne, who's going to be there to answer your questions. And it's been, it's fun to have a quick chat. And here we are at July 4th weekend already. I can't believe it's already, this year sure is going by fast. But, I know I wanted to ask you something about, talking about, my international friend here and getting on the air talking with Mark. When we were chatting earlier in this week, you said there's been some, some of the international hams have been affected because you've been sending stuff and it hasn't been making it, or what have you guys run into with that?
Evidently, there's some regulations going on. I've gotten a number of packages for overseas of parts and whatnot that just keep making making it back to us. I can't get them through, and they're just not taking mail from the U.S. So under COVID, so just hang in there with us over there. We don't forget you. So
right. I wanted to make sure all the international folks knew that, it's just, unfortunately, while all of this is going on, but, I wouldn't even think that, shipping something would be rejected. So it's kind of interesting to hear that.
I was surprised. I was very surprised. Evidently, some of there's been a few, like I said, mostly the Postal Service is where we're seeing that.
Right. So, we're seeing weird things where it, goes out of one store and then goes to the shipping facility and then doesn't move for a couple of days. And that's, very frustrating for our customers. It's frustrating for us because once it's out of the store, I mean, there's not too much we can do. It's, sitting at the post office and, I'm sure they're doing the best they can. They've been hit with all kinds of craziness as well and trying to get things out the door to people. And, I'm sure they're dealing.
They've been working all through this. Had a few things take a tour of Canada, to finally get
Did
there.
You really?
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah. I kept tracking going around Canada.
It's like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's goofy for sure. I mean, I've seen some stories where they're going in weird places where it just doesn't make any sense, but that's the first I've heard of it actually going out of country to get to you. That's nuts.
I don't know why. It's just, as long as it ends up with, where it's supposed to be, I'm happy.
Yeah. Mark's saying that he's seeing that the down in Trinidad and Tobago, the regular mail is affected and can't send out QSL cards. And I noticed that on his QRZ page. So definitely something to check if you guys are going to send out something to, a DX QSL card, check their QRZ page first, because maybe it's a case like with Mark down there right now where just can't even get the mail. So don't bother. Just hold on to it for the time being. But, it's a different world we're living in right now, and every day seems to be a little different. And the best thing we can all do is to keep ourselves and our family and our friends as safe as we possibly can, and stay healthy, and keep on keeping on, I guess, as the saying goes.
Play more radio. Stay
home and play radio. There you go. Well, this has been a lot of fun, Mark. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me on Shack Chat here today. And thank you to Dwayne, you're the owner of LDG Electronics, for his support and having you join us today. And for all you guys do for the ham radio community, it's very much appreciated. I hope everybody has a safe and healthy and happy Independence Day weekend. And don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down there, and join us for all of our future upcoming videos. And again, don't forget, I will post links to all of the products and information in the video descriptions for you. Now, just as a final reminder, I know I mentioned it earlier, but all of our stores are closed on Saturday, July 4th, so that we can all have a day off. And obviously, we're always closed on Sunday. So enjoy your time off, and we will get back to you when we reopen all of our stores on Monday at 10 a.m. local time as usual. But of course, you can always shop online at hamradio.com. You can do that any time of the day. You can do it at night, the day, the afternoon, while you're hanging out in your pajamas. And 3 a.m. shopping trips are really good. Those, you never know what you might end up buying. So, well, thanks again, everybody. Appreciate you joining us. And thank you again to Mark from LDG Electronics for being here today. And everyone have a great, safe, happy holiday weekend. And I'm KB3VWM here with Mark, KB3VWM 73, everybody. Have a great day and stay radioactive. Bye-bye.
Bye.